So just for some housekeeping real quick, I have two folks logged on. I have somebody logged on with the name of iPad and somebody with the name of guest. And if you could just provide your names, that would be great.
They're muted.
Yeah.
Tap the screen to unmute yourself.
Okay. So I guess we'll notch it up as there's two folks observing at this point. If they add to the meeting, we'll get their names at that point in time, if that works.
That's fine. So Peggy, we have John Moyers, Josh Randall, Brenda, myself, Ted. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all right. There are 5 of us then. All right, the meeting will come to order. You have anything other than what's already on the agenda, Chris?
Nope.
All right, then the first item is application number 22-403, Adam and Amber Thomas, located parcel number 205112-21. It's located at North Middle Drive. It's requesting sketch plan review for an 11 lot subdivision / PUD per article for section 920. So Adam's not here tonight. Jason Barney's going to do the presentation. You want to walk us through, Jason?
Sure, be happy to. So I think we were in maybe about a year or so ago, we had presented what was going to be phase 1, which was an ortho-based sketch plan. It was the easterly portion of the property. The parcel itself is 9.1 acres in size. It's situated north of Pine Street and west of North Street in Bristol. There's 2 current accesses to the parcel. Originally, when we had come in, I think maybe it was 9 months or so ago, and Chris can back me on the dates. We had proposed phase 1, which was going to be the easterly portion of the property. There were 6 residential dwelling units that were townhouse units associated with a cul-de-sac or centered around a cul-de-sac. That was phase 1. And then we presented a master plan to the DRB, which was going to be phase 2, which was the westerly portion of the property. That was going to be done after a 5-year period. The purpose of that was to obviously stay out of Act 250 with Mr. Thomas. Turns out the property was already in Act 250 on account of stuff his father had done. So, and Adam wasn't aware of it. We found the Act 250 permit and decided to basically design the whole thing because we have to do the stormwater design to take an account for both phases. We also have to do the water system design, which will count for both phases. So we thought it best to just come back and.
So is there an existing Act 250
There
permit,
is.
or are you just saying it was triggered?
Nope, there's an existing Act 250 permit.
Can you give me the land use permit number?
I can see.
And is that for a discrete period of time or is it?
No, actually, the permit itself was issued, Mr. Thomas. If you look on the south part of this parcel, he cut off his own residential home where Nakia Deeds currently owns, right where Chris has the cursor. That's what triggered the Act 250, Kevin. So
Okay,
I can get you the number and send it in to Chris.
that's fine.
It
It's under Terry Thomas?
is.
Okay.
Karen Thomas.
That'll be easy to find. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, keep going.
No problem. So in talking with Adam and instead of trying to phase this thing out, we decided to do the whole project all at once. We've completed our topographic survey. We've done their testing. The wastewater systems that you actually see there have been sized, designed, the calculations are done. We've had discussions with Valerie Caples in the select board with regards to the water system. So that will be a continuous loop from Pine Street to North Street. Stormwater will be involved, and then we also have the Act 250 permit. Over the last 3 or 4 months, we've been meeting with the various Act 250 this Division of Historic Preservation. We have a sign off from the archaeology folks and from the historic preservation folks. We also have gone out to the site with the wetlands folks. We have a sign off from them. And we also have a sign off for the prime ag soils. So typically before you start an Act 250 permit, those are the big players. We get those rectified, or we meet with the individuals on staff and we actually get feedback from A&R before we get too far into it. So I've been out with the state archaeologist. My Act 250 specialist has worked with the prime ag soils folks. They like the plan. A&R likes the plan. We just have to get things ready to submit after we go through the final permitting in the town. So as proposed, it's 11 units total.
It's single family, not something else.
They're single family homes. Yep.
Yeah.
And not connected.
Yeah.
The one single family home lot, unit number 11, would be potentially the owner's home, Adam and Amber. That would be their home.
So that access off of North Street, that's just a right of way, right?
The access off North Street is a right of way. It's a 15-foot wide right of way.
And you already have that.
We do.
Okay.
Yep. That was actually originally part of the original subdivision when Terry had cut his parcel off right where Chris has the cursor.
And it's broad enough to allow multi-unit development.
It is. It's 50 feet, and there's plenty of room to get.
I mean, as far as its terms.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So
And
you
then,
got more?
and then the parcel actually touches Pine Street
Yeah, I see the
on the.
panhandle.
Yep. It's a little.
So is it going to be shared with North Middle Drive?
It is, and some of the folks from North Meadow Drive are here, and obviously as part of this, we would, when the attorneys start writing up the deed language, they would want to incorporate into a road maintenance agreement for that portion of the road. We're going to have stormwater infrastructure that's going to have long-term maintenance. We're going to have erosion control when the project gets built out. Anticipating probably getting through permitting maybe by the end of summer next year. We're ready, pretty close on the wastewater, then we'll have to do the water main permit, which always takes a while, and then Act 250 takes some time. That's pretty much.
So it's not you have to amend the existing Act 250?
We do.
Yeah, okay.
It's an amendment, but it sounds easy, but it's pretty much a full-blown application.
Yeah. So I was scratching my head trying to figure out why it's a PUD.
The number of units within, it's not a subdivision. We're not actually subdividing. It's
Oh, okay, so we're not gonna have individual,
lots. Nope.
so,
No.
so how are the houses going to be owned? Are they gonna be rented?
They're gonna be rented. Adam Thomas is looking to build these out himself,
I see, okay,
or with Smith McLean.
all right, so you're gonna have basically two, we'll call them building envelopes.
We have 2 building envelopes associated with, you can see the purple dash line is the building envelope.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, if he did want to have condo lots, he could certainly come back in and we'd have to survey and do a condominium
Yeah.
plat for each one.
Yeah, well, that's, I could, with the clustering, I thought, okay, maybe it's gonna, I didn't see the lot lines yet, maybe, because we could actually have.
We could actually, and really, and you're right on the money, Kevin, we could do that. Now it's sort of the purpose in not connecting the structures.
Yeah.
You get into a lot of condo plats where the structures are connected, and it's kind of a
Yeah,
pain to have
yeah,
to
no,
take measurements inside the house.
you'd have to have side.
Yeah.
You can get, if it was too close on side yard setbacks between those houses, you could get a waiver for that, but I couldn't at least tell if there were individual lot lines there, but you answered the question, so they're gonna be rentals,
Yes,
and, so it's multiple buildings on one lot, that's not too, well, yeah,
10 units, 10 rental units, and the 11th would be Adam and Amber's house. That's the plan.
Do you have a sense of how big these houses are going to be?
Those are the actual footprints. Adam designed them up. We took his drawings, and I can give you a dimension on that real quick. I actually have that. So they're about 30 by 28 by 30. Single, or actually two, excuse me. They're two-story. And then there's a garage, a single car garage on either side of the homes.
Well, that was one of my questions since we ran into this not too far up North Street with nobody thinking about garages until we got into marketing.
Yeah. I think we were in here in one of the meetings.
Yeah.
And it kind of helped when someone gets to take the whooping first.
All right, I see the. So which one do you think Adam's planning to?
It'll be
dive in?
Number 11.
It's number 11. Got it. Let's see it.
The plan is to build these out in phases. I mean, obviously, he's planning to start with 1, 2. We kind of numbered them out the way he anticipated building them. So you get into the east side, put the cul-de-sac in, maybe start with 1 or 2 in a couple of years.
So
3, 4, 5, and 6.
are there, I see you've looked at them. I don't know if our highway department has guidance for cul-de-sac.
Yep.
Widths and all of that.
They have the radius with the cul-de-sac.
to get emergency vehicles in and around and that sort of thing.
Yeah. And we actually looked at that, and we have, there's a lot of engineering documents that will, ASHTO is another one that. will
Yeah, I don't know
provide-
what we use, but,
Yeah.
but I figured you'd actually looked at that.
Oh, yeah.
because, I don't know if school buses are going there or not.
Nope, there's no bus service in the village.
So, okay. All right, so really, the only thing you have to worry about is bigger delivery vehicles and fire.
An emergency.
Emergency.
Yeah,
And I believe that is, that's a 60 feet. 50-foot radius.
I can-
That's-
I'm pretty certain I can drive a truck around that one.
You should be able to.
well, we haven't had, there might be some others in town, but I couldn't think of any. When we had this issue come up yet with how big does the cul-de-sac radius have to be at least under our new regs, so as long as you.
We'll take a look at them.
As long as you looked at that, that's fine.
And this is a sketch plan, so you don't need to sign anybody in.
Nope.
So, any other, questions, Ted, or anybody on the board? Here's John.
Yeah, real quick and just bring that.
Yeah, I have a question. It's for you, Mr. Chairman. Just about the process of site plan review. Is this the only hearing for a site plan review? And it's not like a conditional use in that there are conditions placed or anything like that, right?
Not site plan review. Sketch plan review.
Sketch plan. Oh, very good. Thank you.
And there will be 2 actual public hearings on this, John. There'll be a preliminary and a final.
Do you
So-
think you're gonna, and you got a 6-month window on coming, do you think that's gonna work, or as far as coming back in with a preliminary?
With everything we have to do with stormwater, wastewater, and everything, we'll be tightly close, let's just put it that way.
Well, I guess we can reserve on, if you get outside that, the way the regs are written, that the board can make you go through sketch plan again, but it's not, we can.
Okay.
There's a 6-month window there,
Right.
but it's not, we're not bound to it hard and fast. So if it doesn't change much, we might just go to preliminary. But
Any requests for an extension if we get in? I mean, with a project this size,
yeah,
with a project this size, it takes a lot to get everything.
I
done.
know, yeah. Well, let me see. Sure. I just noticed that 6 month, where is it? It's in the subdivision.
Subdivision regs.
Yeah, it says,
And that's the.
all it
60
says is in section 930, it says, if the applicant fails to submit the plat application within 6 months, meaning 6 months of sketch plan.
Yeah.
The Development Review Board may require submission of a sketch plan for reclassification. But it's a major, it's gonna stay a major, because you've got 11
units.
units.
Does the 6-month clock start from the date of the meeting or the date that the summary is issued?
Since there isn't a summary on the sketch.
There won't be a summary.
Yeah.
So it'd be
It's from, yeah, that would start the clock, and I
pretty
get,
close.
well, and
Adam wants us to get in here by May.
And it's one of those two where I mean, my gut is by April, you saw that this wasn't gonna happen, or that you needed more time
I've
submitting a
notified.
letter in, notifying, and then I can submit it out to the board.
right, and you know,
have a
and
discussion.
and then we could, I think we'd have to meet, but we could, if you hadn't changed things, we have the option of saying, we're not gonna require a sketch plan.
Yeah.
Another sketch plan hearing, you know, so.
And for preliminary, I guess it's, and you can answer this too, Kevin, for me would be helpful, but you're not required to have all of your permits.
Right,
So typically what we've been doing with at least the stormwater and because the stormwater is so complicated to get the permit,
yeah,
we'd rather come in for preliminary and ask if anybody has any more tweaks or changes.
sure,
Because it's such a domino that
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys move one house, the whole site changes.
yeah, no, I get it,
And it's-
Yep.
And we're sitting on the same. There should be.
yeah, no, I think you keep, you know, if it looks like you're gonna be outside that 6 months, and so it'll be from tonight.
Okay,
You know, get in touch with Chris, if it looks like nothing major is changing, and so this sketch plan is essentially the same, except for, oh, maybe this thing moved here or there.
Yeah.
It's still a major, it's always gonna be a major. We can then.
You could actually schedule you, even without the stormwater permit in hand,
you can schedule.
we could schedule the preliminary, have that and make sure that, again, that all the ducks are in a row there so that we don't send these guys out.
Well, he's gotta submit it within 6 months.
Yes,
It's
And
submission.
we should certainly, so the plan that everybody is looking at tonight, the wastewater system has actually been signed and signed. We're a few days away from going for the wastewater permit. We have to wait, obviously, for Act 250 to submit to get approval here with our wastewater and stormwater. But in visiting the site with all the prime ag folks, with all the wetlands folks, with the archaeology folks, and essentially getting sign offs for everybody, I'm fairly confident the Act 250 is going to be the least of our worries. Stormwater would probably be the number two.
Yeah,
And it is sand, but the stormwater regulations are not very.
right, so if you,
Friendly.
all I'm saying is if you're not within the 6 month window, we can't decide tonight that we're not gonna require a sketch plan, because how do we know?
Right.
But we could, whatever the next meeting is, if you're outside that window, and you might be, we can just take it up at the meeting. Chris can put it on the agenda, and we can discuss whether we're gonna require sketch plan again. I would highly doubt that we ever would, but that's how we have to do it.
Yep.
We can't make a decision by fiat.
Okay.
You could just, you know, we can have you in on the phone.
Sure, sure. And like I said, we should be pretty close.
Josh, any questions? Brenda, John? Can't see Brenda, so I'm assuming no.
oh, there's Josh.
What do you say, Josh? What do you got?
Just because this came up with one of our last PUDs, I would encourage the applicant to, and I see the plan is more or less comporting with this, to review the typology of the town of Bristol and really make sure the front entrance is facing the street or public access to the house. So if one enters the cul-de-sac, really is you're presented with the front of the building, and not the garage. So
Okay.
just that's something that I made a note of with a previous applicant and a different project. I would just forward that on to you as for our next review. Thank you.
Brenda, anything?
No, I don't really.
Okay. John? You're muted, John.
Sorry.
It's us all.
I'm out of Zoom practice. Yeah, I'm going to be very interested in to see any details that might be added later as far as landscaping goes. And I'd be interested in a sort of coherent lighting plan, how it's going to not have a lot of light shining in, it's nice to see a neighborhood extend like that, the village sort of fabric. So anyway, I'd be looking for landscaping to fit it in and lighting design.
Those will all be part of, there'll be a landscaping plan and a lighting plan, and that's always a big one.
And yeah, as part of, that's part of site plan. And I'm sure you gotta take care of screening, trash.
Yes.
Any question?
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a few questions. The first was also about designing lighting with an eye towards like minimizing light pollution, and also there's
Ma'am, could you just, they can't hear you on Zoom. If you can either come up and closer. Okay.
Yeah, my first question was also about the lighting with an eye towards preserving or minimizing light pollution. And also it looks like that forested area between the east and west bounds, is it going to be developed with an eye towards maintaining as much of that?
Yes.
Great.
So which section were?
East and west would be
Between numbers 4, 5, 6, and then 7.
And 7, 8, yeah, in between the two phases.
yeah,
So down through this area here.
exactly.
You can see the tree line, it's, there'll be some limited clearing for the houses, but yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I was wanting to confirm that was limited clearing.
Okay.
My second question was about how a driveway maintenance agreement works if it's largely rental units.
They'll be the owner.
It'd be the owner,
They would,
okay,
yeah.
but still split proportionally with the number of
would.
units on that side.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And that maintenance agreement, then does that come into play after the contractor and all of that development work takes responsibility for the build out of the, okay.
You know, likely this will be 5 to 10 years.
Sure. Yeah.
But thirdly, it's gonna be that.
Great. I think
And
that's-
this is the water
yeah.
line. This water line is separate from ours. I think ours.
Yours on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that may change. That's actually just laid out, we've got the design.
Yeah, because tied in together and half off.
Yeah, you guys may end up.
Any
I
other
do
questions?
have a- I do have a question if I can, now that I think of it.
Go ahead.
Are the electrical lines going to be buried or are they going to be telephone poles through here?
I would assume that he's gonna have it buried. It's
You
gonna be,
assume what?
I assume he's gonna have it subsurface, but we haven't gotten that far.
They believe that it's buried.
Yeah.
Dan, did you have all your questions?
I did, thank you.
Okay.
I had a
ahead.
question about the road surface, throughout the project. Is it all gonna be gravel or?
The intent right now is
Anything
to
else
be,
in mind?
they've talked about paving the entrance off of the street. So for right now, it's proposed to be done.
Is there an existing highway access from North Street?
There is,
There's already a permit
Yep.
for that,
there's already a driveway.
and you've got one on Pine Street too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's already a driveway both on North and Pine, would be widely the existing
Yeah.
driveway.
Yeah.
And it's gravel now.
Well, I know, like. The one on North Street might be old enough that it pre-exists highway access permits. I don't, so do we know if you've got?
Because of the
That-
change, they may trigger that you need to reapply for
Okay.
a access permit.
Yeah, I mean, I just wondered if it's a.
It likely has one because the house that Terry did subdivide off this parcel was done, according to the Act 250, was around 2000.
Yes, so it probably does. But it's worth a check to see what you've got. I'm just wondering if there are any limitations in it that you. As to number of lots or any, I doubt it,
Yeah,
but just, I would.
And I think North Meadow's been around since 78.
It's been around for a while.
Forever.
Been there for a bit.
Right, but you know, I have no idea when the town Bristol started, or would have been the village back then if they required highway access permits. Or it's just the kind of thing where you called up and asked the road foreman, and he said, sure.
They give us, but
Yeah.
probably not until the eighties or nineties,
Yeah, I don't know.
or even with Bristol maybe.
It's before my time, but you're gonna,
We'll look at it.
you wanna check that box, I'm sure.
Yep.
Any other questions from anyone? John says no, Josh can't see.
Josh, you good?
Josh is good, okay.
Brenda, you good?
Yeah, Brenda's good. You guys good? Okay. So this is a major because it's 4 units or more. And so that means it'll be a 2-step subdivision review as part PUD in conjunction, a preliminary and then a final. So we'll see you back sometime within 6 months, or we'll
Here for us.
yeah, and then we can take up the extension and the issue of whether we need to do a new sketch plan, which I would highly doubt.
Yeah, we should be pretty close. I have one question for Josh. He was talking about the garage facing the cul-de-sac, and I believe you were referring to 10 and 11, correct? Yeah. Units 10 and 11.
Yeah, I mean, the building can have a garage facing the cul-de-sac or public approach, but the main of the building should have a public approach, and either a front porch or a front door or some other door or entry that is clearly visible from the cul-de-sac or approach to the home or residence.
So it signifies that that's the actual front of the house.
Yes.
Right. Correct.
In the purpose of the village district, mixed village, to see that it's the consistent design approaches for houses to face the road.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and
Have a front yard.
yeah. So I guess I didn't look closely. That Josh's point is a good one. Maybe unit 11 gets tilted a little bit.
Gets tweaked. Yep.
I shouldn't have to find my way around the garage to find your home.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I think it's an easy thing to work around, but it's important for the community.
No, it's just something when you're piecing all this stuff together, that's a good observation. It's one of those things, you know.
Yeah, I could. Yeah,
We're trying to get everything fit.
Counterclockwise, not quite 90 degrees. You got it. Got some flexibility there. It looks like. Anything else from anybody? Okay, so we'll look for your application within 6 months, or if you need more time, we'll take it up. And
Hopefully here.
all right. So next up is approval of minutes. Who was here for the April 12th one, Chris?
We have Tom Wells, Brenda, John Moyers, Josh. Just those 4.
That was 3.
Tom, Brenda, John, and Josh. Sorry.
We have a Tom's not here,
No.
so we only have 3.
Yeah. So well.
So we can't do the 12th. How about? Well, let's try the 23rd of August. How are we doing there?
You had Kevin, Tom Wells, Ted Desmond, Brenda Tilburg, Josh Crandall.
That's 4. We can do August 23rd. Do you have it?
I do. And some will sense.
All right, that was the one, that was Craig, Scrivener's sketch plan approval. And a sketch plan review for Peter Kuzno on Berkey Road. And that's it, so it was 2 sketch plan reviews. And Craig has since come in and gotten his subdivision. See ya. And the other one, and LaRose was here for the Kuzno one on Berkey Road.
Yep.
Oh, I remember that one now.
No comment from me.
Yeah, I don't see, do you have anything, Ted?
You know, are we doing the first one first?
No, we're not doing the first.
Only doing the August.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Don't we have two on this?
Well, so, yeah, there are two sketch plans on here.
Yeah, so somehow, I'm not sure how I got, abstained, you know, on the second one, but I have no comment on the first one. It looks fine.
You abstained on approval of the minutes.
Yeah,
But those are already done.
yeah, okay, all right, that's what that is about, okay.
That's, yeah, that was,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
we approved minutes,
Yeah.
minutes on the August 23rd hearing, but.
And there would have been no motion on the second.
Yeah, and I got abstained because I probably wasn't here for that.
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Should we have a motion from anyone?
I'll move that we approve, the minutes of August 23rd, 2020.
And I'll second that.
10 seconds, so, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, so that's the four of us who are eligible to vote on this one, all voted in favor. So that was Ted, Kevin, Brenda, and Josh. All right, anything else, folks?
Yeah, I was just wondering if we never get enough people to approve one of the minutes, what happens to it?
It's,
I mean, like the April 12th one or whatever it is.
well, it's not an official minute, but
I mean,
the action still happened,
Right.
Okay.
They sort of indefinitely in draft.
which doesn't mean anything,
No.
really. The minutes
I
are
just wondered, because
Yeah, I know, sometimes they are elusive.
Turns into an hour.
2 or 3 times on some of them, so I don't remember if April 12th has shown up before. It probably did in August or something, and we didn't make it then.
no, I've got a printed copy of it, so it did.
Yeah.
Yep, and we didn't have
No, I
enough.
meant, yeah, okay. No, I meant if we tried before and didn't have enough people.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're ready to adjourn.
Hey.
Thank you, folks. Have a good night.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Have a great night. And I'll send you those names over tomorrow, Peg.
Thank you.